10 signs that your marriage is slowly dying even without cheating. Yes, I know that it is very common these days for marriages to break because of cheating. But do you know that your marriage is slowly dying even without cheating? My name is Pastor Mrs. Joy Bisong, founder, Love Matters Academy. Today we are going to be walking you through how you can recognize that your marriage is slowly dying even without cheating. Number one, dried communication. What do I mean by dry communication? Communication that doesn't pass the message. Communication has become more of logistics. Whenever you talk, it's all about it must end in quarrel. You're even scared of talking about any issue because you know it will end up in quarrel, in misunderstanding. It means you have dried communication. In fact, some of you are just talking. You think you're communicating. Communicating is not talking. Talking is only part of communicating. Now, when your communication can no longer come to solve issues, whenever you need to talk, it ends up in misunderstanding. Your marriage is slowly dying. Because why? Communication is the lifeline of every relationship, especially marriage. Now, every single problem or challenge in marriage can be solved through communication if you know how to properly communicate. And that's why it's called the lifeline of every relationship. Okay, now think about this for a moment. What will happen to you if there is no blood in your body? That's what communication is to relationship. If you want to even break any relationship, let's say you no longer want that relationship, break off communication. You will see it die. Communication is just the major thing in every relationship, it's the lifeline. So when your communication has reduced to logistics, what did you cook? I cooked this. Have you picked the kids from school? Anything you want to say is just about the logistics, just surface level. You can no longer have meaningful sharing where you talk about your feelings, your dreams, your visions, what you were reflecting during the day you cannot share with your partner. Then you have dried communication. So what do? Set aside 15 to 20 minutes every day to talk about just your dreams, your visions, and your reflections. Not about anything else, not about work, not about children, not about anything else, just the two of you. This marriage is about the two of you. You came together because you love each other, because you want to be with each other. Then somewhere along the line, things have come in and now you can no longer have that communication. So set aside 15 to 20 minutes every day. It's something you do consciously, deliberately, intentionally. Listen up. Good marriages, happy marriages don't just happen. They don't fall from heaven. This is the work we put into it. This is the work they put into it. You can do it for your marriage. Put in the work. Communication is not something you were born with. It's something you learn. You learn how to communicate. You can learn how to talk. Or should I say talking is a reflex action. You can just know how to talk at different stages of development. At one point, talking will happen. But communicating is an art. You have to learn it. And that is why at the academy, we teach it from every angle of it. By the time you're through with communication as a course in Love Matters Academy, you will understand better. Your marriage will move to another level. That's a topic for another day. Number 2 is constant criticism and nagging. Note the word constant. It means it's not about one time you just talk, you just nag, but it has become a constant act in your marriage. So you're always unable to communicate or have a meaningful talk. You make your partner feel like they don't ever do anything right. Oh, I don't like the way you're bringing up our children. Oh, I don't like the way you spend money on stupid things. Oh, I don't like... You're always nagging. You always put your socks on the ground. And how do you expect me to cook with all these dirty plates piled up? Can't you come and help me? Oh, it's always about nagging instead of peacefully communicating your thoughts. Constant criticism, constant nagging. Your partner is as if your partner never does anything correctly. What do you do in such a case? After a personal reflection, and you've seen that this has become part of your marriage, what you have to do is to use the 5-to-1 rule. What is the 5-to-1 rule? 5-to-1 rule is that you use 5 affirmation for every 1 correction. What is affirmation? You have to appreciate your partner. Look for their strength. Look for their uniqueness. You have to consciously check it. They are very subtle. But because you're filled with criticism, you're filled with nagging, you may not be able to see them. So this has to do with self-reflection. You have to think about it. You have to observe these qualities. And then you affirm them. You appreciate them. For every 1 correction, there should be 5 for every 1 correction, there should be 5 affirmation. That's why we call it 5-to-1 rule. So the third one is emotional distance. What is emotional distance? You've become detached. There is this feeling of distance you have. You feel you're not connected to your partner. You're in the same room. You live together, but you don't feel connected to your partner. So you have to what? Reintroduce small acts of affection. What are those small acts of affection? Hugs, kissing, holding hands, go for dates. See, your dates don't need to be very expensive. Do you know that if you can just go to an eatery and you order for very soft drinks, and talk over them, it's not about what you're eating in that date or where you're going to. The emphasis is about you talking to each other. Have a conversation that doesn't have to talk about work, doesn't have to talk about the children. It just has to talk about your dreams, your reflection, you that you had before you got married. Let me tell you a secret. People who have happy marriages, they do these things like normal. They hold hands. They do those things like normal. But the difference between them and most of these marriages that are having these challenges is that they are deliberate. They are intentional about it. So you have to be also intentional about your marriage. You have to be intentional about what you do. You don't have to just, you're married to the right person. Let me tell you, the right person that you got married to, you can start having such a marriage that you begin to think, are you sure this person was the right person for me? Choosing the right person for marriage is just one of it. You have to now put in the work to sustain that marriage. So constant criticism and nagging or emotional distance or dry communication will slowly kill your marriage. In fact, faster than cheating. Cheating usually happens, in fact, when all of these things have taken place. Yes. Now, number 4 is piled up conflicts and communication. What do I mean by that? Every conflict you have, you just sweep it under the rug. You don't talk about it. Then suddenly, you just move about your daily activity like nothing happened. What that will do to your marriage is that you're going to have secret resentment for each other. You're going to have a lot of unfulfillment in your heart, and then one day it will burst. So when you have misunderstanding, when you have conflict in your marriage, every marriage does. Don't sweep it under the rug. Talk about it. We have a rule in our own marriage. Never sleep with any conflict. You don't take it to the next day, no? So if it happens at that period and we can't talk about it, we just hold on for a while when the tension is down, and then we talk about it. You cannot have that happy marriage, that fulfilling marriage, if you are not communicating, if you are not talking over issues. You can't just sweep them under the rug, then you buy your spouse their favorite gift, or you cook them their favorite food to cover up for that. They may just know that you're sorry for that thing, but you are not able to really talk about what really happened. How did I contribute to this? And what should we do next time for that not to repeat itself? And so, yes, you are not happy it happened, but you don't have a structure to make it not to repeat itself. So you have to talk about it. All right. Now, lack of shared vision is the fifth one we'll be talking about. What is lack of shared vision? You have what you want to do. This is definitely going to affect your marriage, but your partner doesn't know about it. So the husband, for instance, is considering taking a job that is outside the state, while the wife, her dream marriage is for the both of them and the children to be together. You are thinking of a plan that will affect your marriage, but your partner is not aware of it. Now, your husband wants 2 children and you have 4 children. The two of you are in the marriage. You do not even know that this is what goes on in your heart. It's wrong. You have to talk about it. You have to share your vision. This is how many children I want. This is how many are we having together. It has to be agreed upon, and you have to stick to that agreement so that there will be no conflict, so that your marriage doesn't slowly die. Now, how do you do this? You have to create shared dreams, plan together everything that you know will affect your marriage. Your finances, your faith, your vacation, how many children you want, everything that you know will affect this marriage. You have to what? Plan them together. Now let's look at number 6. Neglected physical intimacy. Now, what do I mean by neglected physical intimacy? You have become, or your marriage has gotten to that point where it looks like sex is a chore. It's not that somebody is sick. It's not that one of the partner is having a chronic ailment. It's that you don't just talk about sex and you are not having it as it should be, and every other physical intimacy for a long time is just there, not because of something like this chronic ailment that I have talked about. It's just because it's neglected. Let me put it that way. Now, sex deepens connection. It gives you a sense of closeness and trust when it is within the confinement of marriage. It is one of those things, if you will be honest with yourself, why you actually wanted to get married. So why is it now like this in your marriage? It is because you've neglected it. It is because you're not paying attention to it. And what you don't know is that it can destroy your marriage faster than cheating. Most marriages that have to do with infidelity, this is not saying it should be so, but that is what has happened in time past, is that there has been neglected physical intimacy. The bed, should I put it the way my friend is putting it? Instead of your bed to be shaking, it is the two of you that are shaking. So your bed is always quiet. It's now for go quietly and sleep. There's nothing, no intimate talk, no pillow talk. Intimacy is neglected. It will kill your marriage. Don't allow it. Number 7, too much focus on children or work. Children are a blessing, and we thank God for that. And you need work, you need money in order to raise them. We know. But the point here is extremism. When it becomes that it's a focus, that now affects your marriage. So, the hallmark of maturity is balance. In as much as you don't want to become lazy and not have the finance, the resources to raise your children, you also not want to become so focused on children and work that you don't have time for your marriage. So you have to rebalance your priority. How do you rebalance your priority? You protect your marriage even in busy seasons. Now, remember this. Children thrive when parental relationship is healthy. So if your relationship, your marriage is not healthy, your children will not thrive. So it therefore means that you have to prioritize. Make sure that the time you give to work, the time you give to children, do not affect your marriage. We are not saying don't have children. And this is not saying children are the ones that destroy marriages. No, no, and no. It is your priority. How did you balance it? The next one we'll consider is comparison or daydreaming about better options. I want my women, my ladies to come on this table, because this is a call for you. This is not saying that men don't do it, but this is a call for women. You daydream. You think that there is a better partner out there. It is because perhaps you married a wrong person. That may be part of it. But then, listen to me. When you start daydreaming about better option, it will come to reality. Not come to reality that you have a better option, but come to reality that the better option you're thinking about will suddenly become your partner. This your marriage you're having now will be broken. Why? The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. Your imaginations can become your reality. Not reality in that you find somebody who will be better than your spouse. No. No good marriage falls from heaven. Even if you meet a better person, like I said in my previous video on where to find better husband or better wife. Even if you find a very marriageable person, very good spouse, if you don't put in this work that I'm talking about, you will find that you will soon hit the rock. Trust me on this. We've canceled many cases, and I can tell you this for free. There are people who never put in the work. They were thinking that their partners were the problem, and then they get a divorce thinking, oh, if I get a better partner, then my marriage will be sweet, and then they go to the second marriage, only to discover that the pattern continues. After misunderstanding, they are swept under the rug, no communication, neglected intimacy, all of these things coming in. They do not work on it. The marriage crashes. In the second marriage, they think they begin to consider, my first marriage was better. They feel like going to the first marriage. Then they go and see that the first partner has gotten married to another person. They move to the third marriage, only to discover that the second marriage was better. Don't allow yourself to be found in such a situation. Every marriage, every happy marriage, put in the work. They put in the work. So put it in. You see them laughing. Behind the smiles on social media, there is something happening beneath. Either they are going through some trauma, terrible, toxic marriage, or they are having happy marriages, putting in the work. Number 9 is loss of fun and friendship. Your marriage has become so serious. It has become business-like. There's no play, no jokes, no laughter. It's the tension can almost be felt if someone should enter your house. It means your marriage have lost fun and friendship. Don't allow that. It will break your marriage. You will hit the rock. Why did you get married in the first place? What were the things you were enjoying? What were the things you were happy about that made you say, I'm going to settle down with this person? reintroduce them? Was it dance? Did you like dancing? Was it the dates? Was it the shopping? Was it, what is it? What is it? Was it the travels? Exactly what were those fun things? They may not be the major thing that got you married, that made you marry that person, but they were certainly part of the spices that made the relationship to be enjoyable. So what you do if you discover that your marriage have lost fun and friendship is to what? Reintroduce those things deliberately. Be intentional about your marriage. Be intentional about it. The last but not the least is spiritual drift and developmental drift. What is spiritual drift or what is developmental drift? It's when one partner is growing in faith or in other secular areas while the other one is not. So one partner is growing in their walk with God, they are taking courses, they are growing while the other one is not. Do you know what that will do to your marriage? There will be a gap. And that gap can be so huge that it will affect your communication, it will affect everything about your marriage. It will affect the decisions you make. Because let me try to explain how this affects your marriage. It begins to look like one partner is more knowledgeable, more exposed, has more ideas, knows what can work because the person has been developed, has been trained, while the other partner does not know these things. So when you now bring an idea in the course of a conflict or confusion in that marriage, that idea is rejected. And that partner rejects it because they cannot really see what you're seeing. What development does to you is that you see beyond the ordinary person, or you see beyond the level that you were before, or the level that your partner was before. So how do you do this? Start doing things together. Pray together. Go to church together. Study together. If you're taking any course, let your partner take those courses together. See, let me tell you something. When there is developmental drift and there is a gap between you and your partner, it can expose your marriage to danger. Let me give you an instance. So you've developed yourself on so many courses in your office, in your personal work, just personal developmental courses, and then your partner did not. Now you're talking about something you know related to a matter. Your partner never understands it. Concerning business, your partner never understands it. Then one day you meet another partner very harmlessly. You're talking and this partner is able to connect because that person, not the partner now, this other person you've met is able to connect, is able to relate with what you're saying. You become connected to that person if you don't take care. This is why infidelity subtly creeps into marriages. Because what you find outside, suddenly you're not finding in your partner, and instead of inculcating it, you decide to go for the one outside. Grow together. Grow spiritually. Grow morally. Grow developmentally, or develop, how do you speak English? Develop together. Grow in every area. Grow your finances together. If you're talking about vacation and places, you're talking about games, football, sports, everything, grow together. So that your partner, you can gist together, you can communicate together, you can see things from at least almost the same perspective, so that there will be no parallel line between your relationship. Parallel lines, they never come together. And what is marriage? Coming together. I hope you have learned something from all of this. Please, if you've learned even a thing, like, subscribe, and share. Someone needs to hear this.